Let's imagine New York City, but with a massive airport 70 meters above Midtown Manhattan. While this clearly sounds like a ridiculous idea, in the 1940s, this was an actual plan for a mega project. We'll look at insane mega projects in the world that were never built. Some of these were just insane ideas that didn't seem practical, while others were affected by financial and political constraints. Which of the following projects would you like to see in reality? Let us know in the comments below. The Dream Airport above New York. A preposterous 1940s concept may have reshaped Midtown Manhattan's culture and skyline. William Zeckendorf, New York's most successful real estate developer, suggested a Midtown Manhattan Hudson River rooftop airport in 1946. A 70-meter Central Park deck would cover 144 Manhattan blocks at New York's Dream Airport. Under the deck were 10-story ticket offices, small shops, and waiting rooms. The airport planned air transport, Hudson River ship terminals, platform roadways, and railways. The largest airport renovation ever cost $3 billion. This plan was driven by travel time savings. In the 1940s, traffic in all major airports outside Manhattan made commuting difficult. Midtown airports would have eliminated Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK highways. The airport would have devastated Hudson Yards and other towers, transforming NYC forever. Though absurd, this strategy failed for obvious reasons. People in the world's busiest city hate airports. This airport handled 68 aircraft every hour, so flights were audible all day. NYC's heavy traffic causes Midtown plane rushes, complicating plans. Engineering would hinder approval. New York's biggest and hardest mega project would entail land acquisition, clearing structures in 144 blocks, and reconstruction with an airport on top. Building a 70-meter-high airport over New York with buildings and people was impossible. The newspaper's grandiose ideals were the only inspiration for this unique airport. 4. The mile-high Illinois skyscraper. Chicago is considered the origin of the skyscraper, and one renowned proposal suggests it may have led the world's highest skyscraper race. Frank Lloyd Wright proposed the Illinois, a mile-high skyscraper, in 1956. The Empire State Structure, the world's tallest structure at the time, was less than one-fourth of the Illinois, making the idea absurd. Lloyd Wright opposed spreading cities and intended to design structures that saved ground space and raised cities. His 8-meter model of the Illinois has 528 stories, atomic-powered elevators, and 15,000 automobile and 100 helicopter parking. Wright said it could house all government offices and eliminate the need for towers in Chicago because it was a city. Wright's suggestion was impressive but unfeasible at the time. The world's tallest building is the Burj Khalifa, which is half the Illinois' height. The design's realization was never considered, therefore few sketches and models remain. 3. America's tallest failed skyscraper. Continue in Chicago to the Chicago Spire, a more realistic skyscraper erected 50 years after Wright's idea. Might have preserved that record today. The World Trade Center Transportation Hub and Sweden's turning torso were designed by Santiago Calatrava. Garrett Kelleher of Shelburne Corporation designed and built the spire in 2005. Thin, bending skyscraper would have reached 610 meters in Chicago. Construction of this structure began eagerly in 2007. The narrow tower needs deep footings. The 22 meters dig. Foundations were laid, but work paused. The Great Recession delayed mid-2000s projects like the Chicago Spire. The project's main financier, Anglo-Irish, failed. No money was spent building. This caused lawsuits. The developer halted construction due to finances. Only Spire foundation was done. Shelburne Corporation entered bankruptcy in 2013, delaying its rise over Chicago. 3 years later, Connected Midwest bought the land and presented 400 Lake Beach road plans, which the Chicago City Council approved in 2020. This layout contains 267 and 233-meter stairs. According to the corporation, construction will start this year. Hope exists that the hole will close. 2. Hitler's plan to build the largest dome in the world, the Volkshalle. Hitler's cruelty ceased with Nazi Germany's defeat. It also stopped big architectural projects. The Germania capital city and Great Hall were planned. Germania planned Berlin as its capital. Hitler wanted to reorganize Berlin along the 5-kilometer north-south boulevard that intersected an east-west axis. The Great Hall was supposed to be on the new central axis north end. Hitler drew this huge dome. He visited the Pantheon in Rome in the 1920s and intended to design something larger. Located 250 meters wide and 290 meters tall, the dome was the continent's tallest edifice. The huge hall could house 150,000 people. The hall was 17 times St. Peter's Basilica. Hitler built vast buildings to preserve his dominion. Wolfgang Benz, historian, says the vast hall enforced rule. He said this skyscraper will dominate, overwhelm, and attract. The Germania designs were essentially abandoned except for shell buildings. The 1945 defeat destroyed Nazi Germany's grandiose and brutal Great Hall and other ideas. 1. The sphere version of the pyramids of Giza, our final insane mega-projects in the world that were never built, takes us to 18th century France. This project honored physicist Sir Isaac Newton. French architect Étienne Louis Boulle built a 150-meter-high cenotaph to rival the Great Pyramid in his honor. The cenotaph honors Sir Isaac Newton, buried in Westminster Abbey, while the Great Pyramid was Khufu's tomb. Boulle wanted to celebrate Newton with the first domed planetarium. Boulle inserted tiny holes in his spherical structure to represent planets and constellations. A stunning spherical lamp would illuminate the structure at night, operating as the sun in a surface-generated galaxy. Like the previous initiatives in this piece, his proposal was unfeasible. Boulle would have realized that building was a science of ideas and imaginations. The cenotaph was a beautiful idea that never happened.